Hey guys, Brian Stevens with INREP. I have Scott Olson with the Community Homelanders of America, representing independent mortgage banks all across the country. Scott, how are we doing today?
Brian, great to talk to you, and thanks for the opportunity.
You bet. Now, I got to tell you guys, I thought this was kind of funny and spot on. The FHFA was asking for comments with some of the stuff that they were doing, as they do frequently. They've been very busy as of late with a lot of moves that I think have left a lot of lenders, brokers, and bankers alike scratching their head. So I thought the Community Homelanders of America had a great response to the FHFA. Can you set up what you guys did, Scott?
Sure. I mean, staff had put together a letter making a lot of sort of, technical comments. And then we had a call on Tuesday before sending it out. And two or three people said, well, what we really want is a little time just to live with the same framework. And, it's kind of leave us alone for a while because we're spending too much of our time making IT changes, trying to figure out the risks on execution and so on. So let's just have some running room where the same pricing's in place for an extended period of time. So we put that prominently in our letter and said, let's keep things the way they are, like to the end of next year, and let's see how it works.
So now the FHFA was asking for comments for additional changes to their loan level price adjustments. Is that what it was?
Yes. Yeah.
And your official response to them was, please don't do anything for a while.
Right. I mean, we're not saying it's perfect and we could have done what everyone does. Okay, this could be perfected by doing this and you could move this a little bit here. But we've really spent the last 2 years making these sorts of tweaks and, several changes. And, the kind of changes they would make are going to probably be at the margins anyway. So let's just leave it alone is kind of where our members ended up. So.
The great jazz musician Miles Davis once said, a great song is sometimes the notes that you don't play.
Exactly.
Chefs have said this before. Sometimes it's the ingredients you don't put in that makes the steak great. And I kind of think that's that's in the spirit of what you guys are doing over here, saying, hey, listen, maybe no decision right now is the easiest one. And I would assume this is in response to all the changes that have had to be made and how that's kind of slowing down perhaps turn times for our independent mortgage banks and adding to cost more importantly. What was the genesis of the decision?
Well, so just reviewing the bidding, they started making changes. FHFA started making changes really a year and a half ago that were more taking what they call equitable housing and saying we have, first-time home buyers, lower income families. We want to give price breaks from the LLPAs and not above. And that, generated some controversy. And in the process, there have been some tweaks that have been made. I mean, we said, for instance, where they drew the line last year, that high cost areas, someone who's making 102% of median and buying a loan 10,000 above the conventional loan limit in LA or New York, that's a starter home. I mean, that's not even, may even be a starter home. And so we made some suggestions, and we were thrilled in October later in the year when the FHFA made some tweaks and raised the income threshold. And so I feel like we spent a lot of time tweaking these things. And so, it's not like there haven't been changes. It's not like there hasn't been this effort to get what people want. But, it's time to get back to making loans is kind of the...
No, I agree with you 100%. I thought your response was spot on, because so often you're going to get what seems to be a politically motivated response to what is by and large becoming a political organization. A conversation I had with Dave Stevens just recently talking about the heads of all these agencies now being politicized, but another story for another day. You guys just went right to the tip of the spear with this thing and said, hang tight, don't do anything. So my question is, because this is such an abnormal response from an advocacy group or an association, has the FHFA responded to you? And if so, what do they say?
Well, the problem with being, responsive to feedback from the public is, I didn't look, but I'm sure they got many, many letters, very complicated, dozens of different suggestions. So it's going to take time to sort through them. So I'm sure it'll take some time to get a response. But I also think that that is part of the problem in Washington. There's just so many associations spend their time, almost like they want to have something that's just out of reach. They want to be in a position for suggesting things. I had a sort of personal story that one of the first things I did when I worked on the Hill is we had this big thing about the cable companies and back in 1996, and like the Congress finally passed a law and put everyone out of business. because for like 5 years, all the lobbyists were working on, this big thing, and there was nothing to work on yet after they passed the law. So, what we try to do at CHLA is listen to our members. We're really kind of bottom up. Our members sort of make the calls on what we focus on, and then try to look at practical things that are achievable as opposed to pie in the sky. Oh, here's some great, suggestion that's going to take 5 years to get. Our members live in the real world. They're trying to make a living. So we try to be kind of, real practical oriented and focused on reality.
Yeah, I got to tell you, again, the response was great. Here's something. Just don't do anything for a bit. A very, very apropos, great point to make here. And I got to let you know, if you guys are watching this right now, you should go check out their site. It is Community Lender, communitylender.org, communitylender.org. Check it out. There's a bunch of great articles that these guys are putting out. They are out there representing all mortgage lenders, particularly the independent mortgage bank and that platform. If you'd like to check it out, just go to communitylender.com and having a chance to reach out to Scott and hear what these guys are all about. It makes a whole bunch of sense to me, and I think how they write and what they have to say will make a lot of sense to you. Scott, thank you so much for your time today, dude.
Love to chat again sometime soon.
All right, sounds good.